Hello and welcome to the October 2023 edition of SPS Global Insights Report, intended to inform you of critical incidents around the world relating to kidnap, ransom, extortion and piracy. We begin in Israel. The events that started on October 7th were watched around the world, as Palestinian militants from the Gaza Strip, primarily organised by the governing Hamas movement, launched a lethal assault on Israeli territory. In this assault, the abduction of nearly 150 Israeli and foreign national citizens in the first 72 hours has reshaped the landscape of kidnappings, ransoms and extortion in the country and may have global ramifications. Hamas has long had the capacity to conduct long-lasting detainments, with past examples of multi-year detainments of Israeli nationals, posing the risk of a long-term hostage standoff. Military operations to release detainees in Gaza seem impractical in such a heavily urbanized environment. The situation remains fluid, but the utilization of hostages to prevent a full frontal Israeli military response could galvanize other global actors in conflict areas to conduct similar abductions, raising the risk of mass abductions across global conflict zones. Moving to Africa, where the Central African Republic has long grappled with political instability, armed conflict, and a breakdown of law and order, all of which have significantly contributed to an elevated risk of kidnapping. After 10 years of conflict, 3.4 million people are in need of humanitarian assistance, while approximately 750,000 have fled the country, and a further 500,000 are internally displaced, according to the United Nations. In this environment, armed rebel factions utilize kidnapping tactics to both extort the local population and symbolize territorial control. The risk is present for both local and foreign nationals, as shown earlier this year, when 3 Chinese miners were kidnapped and detained for 20 days, reportedly by CBC rebels near the Cameroonian border. The risks of such incidents have also been enhanced by the presence of mercenary governmental forces such as the Wagner Group, who have reportedly been linked to several kidnapping incidents this year, amidst allegations of violations of human rights and other war crimes by both sides of the conflict. Moving on to South America, where Argentina has made commendable improvements in tackling the threat of kidnap, ransom and extortion crimes, with a reported 90% reduction in kidnappings for ransom since 2016. High inflation rates driving criminal activity into more durable products, coupled with governmental efforts in law enforcement, have curbed the kidnapping risk of criminal organizations, with only 4 cases registered in the first quarter of 2023. Despite this progress, concerns remain over the frequency of express kidnappings, especially in the Buenos Aires area, where criminal networks remain pervasive. While uncertainty is raised over the continuing socio-economic fragility of the state, which may necessitate a greater breakdown in law and order and a more selective targeting of wealthy express kidnapping targets. The final concern comes from widespread extortion in Rosario, Santa Fe province, which is linked to an escalating illegal drug trade and gang-related violence, where both local and international businesses and residents are exposed to a high risk of extortion. Moving to Egypt, where the nation's primary kidnap concerns continue to be driven by state-led unlawful detainment. Since President Sisi seized power in 2013, the country has witnessed a significant risk of unlawful detainment and the suppression of dissenting voices in Egypt. From August 1st to September 13th this year, Amnesty International recorded the arrest, interrogation and detention of at least 385 individuals on accusations of belonging to terrorist groups, almost exclusively targeting governmental critics and held often without a known location or legal representation. Furthermore, the country's KRE risks are exacerbated by the threat of terrorist organizations, particularly in northern Sinai province and border regions, as warned by Western governments, with the recently increasing danger due to the regional instability in neighboring countries such as Sudan. Yet governmental efforts to reduce criminality, including the apprehension of over 1,500 gang members, have led to a reported 15% reduction in criminal activity through 2022, limiting the risk posed by criminal organizations. Overall, infrequent criminal actors take advantage of porous borders for various illicit activities, including human trafficking. We hope our SPS Global Insights report has been of value and urge you to read the full report for a comprehensive overview of the SPS kidnapping, piracy, and ransom bulletin. Stay tuned for next month's edition.